Hey everybody, this is Jamayca, your neighborhood black girl with Endo, and have I got a story for you. You really can only laugh for real though, for real. No, but why did I have a whole 40-minute call with my doctor in which we were trying to figure out how they could have possibly did an MRI without getting a picture of the part we needed the most of? We were like, what is going on? So some backstory, and I'll do a complete video about what actually drove me to the ER, but long story short, I have an issue in my abdomen and they didn't know what it was. They said that they were baffled. They'd never seen anything like this before. And it seemed to be a complication of my excision surgery. But I had had excision surgery 2 years ago. So they were like, how is it randomly popping up now? And I was like, you guys are the doctors. You tell me why it's popping up now. And again, the doctor was like, I've literally never seen this before. I don't understand. Let's get an MRI, diagnostic imaging. We don't need to guess. Turns out we still needed to guess because the MRI tech. And, you know, a lot of this seemed to be just straight up miscommunication across like agencies. I don't even know if I would want to call them agencies, but offices, because he is in the OB's office. I'm at the GYN office, but the MRI is not in that same office. It's in a different office. And apparently they had it down as, get this, they had it down as contact dermatitis. Contact dermatitis just means a skin rash. He was legit like, I don't understand how it could possibly be contact dermatitis. Now, mind you, he was going through the legit like insurance codes, trying to figure out what they put in that made them look at the wrong or take pictures of the wrong part of my body. One thing I really like about my doctor is that he's totally willing to be like, oh no, I messed that up. So he was like, wait, let me double check that I didn't put it in right. He was like, oh, he was like, oh, did I put it in? And then I was like, that doesn't sound like you. He's actually very thorough and usually does like everything really well and correctly. Now, what I have found is that his staff, the office staff, I don't know what they be on. I legit don't know what they be on. Like for real. I had a talk with my friend about this. We had excision surgery around the same time. She had it a little bit earlier than I did. But the paperwork for this was ridiculous. And not because it was too much paperwork. Not because the paperwork was like long and drawn out and convoluted. It was because they could not legitimately get us the paperwork. They were struggling to send an email. Like struggling. When I say struggling, it wasn't as if they forgot to send an email. It's that they sent the email and wasn't nothing in it. I was like, oh yeah, that happens all the time. Cool, I be doing that all the time. Every week I send an email without an attachment. I didn't think anything of it, right? I should have. So, fast forward 3 attempts later. I was like, is it easier for me to just come and get the paperwork? I can just come. It was COVID at the time, and I was like, I'm not going into work. I can just come during lunch and legitimately fill out the paper in front of you. No. We're going to send it this time. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Let's do it. They legit sent me just a photo of a flower. I was like, it takes so much effort to do this. Like, why? It takes so much more effort to me to take a picture of a flower, upload it to the computer, or maybe they Googled it. I still don't understand. It sticks in my mind because I was like, what is going on here? What is going on here? It had been 2 years, so I had forgotten about that part. And anyway, I didn't think it was going to be a problem because when I got there, I filled out my own paperwork. I went to the MRI. Y'all check out that video. I get an MRI. It's like not a big deal. And the thing about being a chronically ill person is that you cannot learn everything. So I'm like, I can't learn how to do an MRI. I have to trust you to know how to do it. I have to trust you to know how to do it, put in the right insurance code, and then get the images to my doctor. There's so much trust in the medical system. And, I have learned the hard way that you really cannot be trusting people. You have to follow up. Like, I was like, how am I going to need to follow up the MRI tech talking about is it in the right place? Are you sure? Like, I'm supposed to do his job? No, that doesn't make any sense. So anyway, he was looking at the codes like, what is going on? And then I was like, well, I need to get a new MRI. He was like, I don't even know if that's possible because you literally got an MRI on Friday and you would need to have an MRI tomorrow. Like, he's like, I don't think the insurance will go for it. We will have to fight tooth and nail for you to be able to get this second MRI. And that would probably take too long. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. Yo. So I was like, okay, doc, what we gonna do? Because we have to do something. Like, this is clearly not okay. Like, this issue needs to be solved. I cannot be out here like this. Like, no. And the thing about the thing that's going on with me is that it's not emergent. Like, it's not like dire, but it's urgent. Like, it needs to be solved. So it's like, okay, the longer we wait, the more issues can arise. And the more effort we put into solving it, the better the outcomes will be. So that's why we were like, we need to get this done. If you need a new MRI, you need to do it today, like tomorrow at the latest type of thing. Because we need to figure out, like I said, he's baffled. He actually does not know why this is happening. And the why for him is the most important thing, because it's kind of like, okay, maybe we could solve this problem, but if I don't know the why, will it just happen again? So yes, it was a mess. It was a whole mess. So I was like, okay, what do you really want to do? And he was like, okay, I'm going to go through every single image. There was 50 of them. I don't actually really know the mechanisms of how they do the MRI views. Like, he was sharing his screen with me, and I'll put in a screenshot right here. So he was sharing his screen with me, and he's like, okay, here we go. I'm looking for the belly button. He's like, okay, here we go. Maybe we can go through each image and see if it's in here somewhere. He's like, that way we can get some sort of view and maybe it will tell us a little bit more about what's going on. So we legit went through a lot of images. I did not count them individually, but he was like, okay, here we go. I think this is it. We were partying because we were like, we found one. Because we were legit dreading having to go through insurance and be like, she needs an MRI, and then being like, that is sad for her. She got one already. And me just having to deal with an issue that could progress. So anyway, we were happy that we found one image, and we were able to use that image to determine a couple of different things. One is that I actually need to see a different type of doctor, and that's fine. I think that it's important for everybody to have the doctor that they need to solve the problem that they have. So this problem, he wasn't sure if it was going to be, he's a urogynecologist. He wasn't sure if it was going to be a problem that was of the whole uterine pelvic region. That was one of the reasons that we needed the MRI to see what was going on. We realized that it was really a general surgeon, expertise type thing. So I'm going to be seeing a general surgeon really soon and trying to figure out what the next steps are for my issue. Healthcare is ridiculous. And I do wonder, do you not live in the U.S.? If you don't live in the U.S., how does it work if there's a mistake in some of your diagnostic imaging? If your healthcare is free universal healthcare, do they just do another one without any issues? It's occurring to me that this is a system in which mistakes are on the patient, but why? I don't think that's a question I can answer in this video, but I'm just saying, imagine if, it was human error was built into the system. Okay, they did that imaging. That imaging can be useful. There was actually some useful things on it. There were some things that we needed to see related to my endometriosis and fibroids and all of that. This was an issue that was, again, a complication of my endometriosis excision surgery. So So, you know, it made sense for him to be looking at all of those things. But the one area that was needed, the issued area, was missed. And so anyway, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But it was what it was. And now I have a path forward. And that was just because I have a really good doctor. He is a, you know, endometriosis specialist. He specializes in minimally invasive corrective surgery. So it also has to do with his level of expertise. He's one of the top doctors in the US, and he has actually trained almost all of the other doctors that are specialists in this area. So I was like, when I was looking for him, and again, I told you my friend actually also went to him, and we had both had experiences with other doctors, and we went to him and we were like, oh, that's why he's the best. He really is, like, really, really good. He's really knowledgeable. He likes to joke around. He likes to make patients feel comfortable. He admits when he makes mistakes, and he's not afraid to say he doesn't know anything. Those are all really good things to look for in a doctor, but another video on that later. So yeah, I am excited to have at least some answers because I was sitting in a kind of limbo for a couple of weeks now, while my doctor kind of figured out what was the proper next step, because it has been something he's never seen before and he's seen a lot of cases. He wanted to make sure that it wasn't something that he needed to fix, and if it wasn't, he wanted me to get into a doctor that he trusted and also that I trust, and also that he knew could potentially solve this problem. So yeah, he put in a call, and I'm gonna go see that doctor, the general surgeon, in a couple of days. School ends soon. I'm an educator. School ends soon, and so that does open up some time to get some of this, you know, nipped in the bud. I've been having to leave work a little bit early, and that's been another challenge, a logistical challenge. So I'm excited for the summer to come to solve some of these issues. And if I need surgery, then I can do it in the summertime and not have to miss a lot of my work time. I actually really enjoy my job, so I want to be there. But also I enjoy myself, so I want to be alive. So I want to make sure that I'm taking care of me, but also that everything is in order for things to move forward. Thanks so much for watching. Check out my next video. And if you are in a situation where the healthcare system failed you, speak up, do something about it. Make sure that you don't get lost in the system. You're wonderful. I hope you live your best life. Catch you next time.